Alright, welcome. And today we're going to be talking about my favorite WordPress themes in 2018. I'm Kurt Hamel. I'll be your host. You can find me at kurthamel.com and on all social media platforms. I focus on website optimization, that's like SEO and better, more versatile graphic design for mid to small businesses and professionals. I'm located in Detroit, Michigan. You can check me out on my website once again, kurthamel.com. So as we go through this, please feel to like and subscribe if you like the content. And I do this every Wednesday at 4 p.m. We might change that date in the future. Thanks. And if you're watching this in a rerun, all the links and everything will be below in the doobly-doo. And we'll go over some hands-on examples at the end after I, go briefly through some of my favorite themes. And we'll just talk about the different versatility and stuff like that through what they can do. All right. And I guess we'll start with what are themes in WordPress. So if you're not familiar with the platform, WordPress is a platform that works through the traditional web browser. You can download it or work as a host server for basically different website files, and it creates a much more friendly user interface to edit basically all the different parts of your website. So if you're not really that much into coding, it's great for you. It's a great start. A lot of people hear about Squarespace these days is a big one that tries to compete with WordPress's functionality, but WordPress just offers a lot more options. Obviously that comes with more technicality, but one of the best things about WordPress are they're just generic themes. Well, not generic, I don't want to sound like that. There's a very diverse selection of them. And so with the theme comes basically what your website's main body frame will look like. And so with that, we can go here. There's quite a few different large hubs that sell professional themes, but WordPress itself, the platform comes with near unlimited free themes for you to also use. So first off, I guess let's start talking about some of those free themes. And where would you find those themes? So if you install WordPress on your host server like GoDaddy, HostGator, or DreamPress, Bluehost, wherever you are hosted on, you will, if you go on the sidebar, which I'll show later once we're in the more nitty-gritty of the themes, you will get to a theme directory that looks like this, and automatically installed with default installations of WordPress comes 3 themes: 2017, 2016, and 2015. Those are very basic website outlines. Great if you are just literally need to get some posts up real quick. 2017 is honestly a very great basic format. But so what these different themes do is, without you having to go in the back end and coding a lot of, especially for home pages and stuff like that, they create a basic layout for your landing page, basically for you. And they will often come accompanied with a lot of extra plugins, as I talked about plugins 2 weeks ago's webinar. They used together with correct plugins can create a much easier experience for the programming talented, I guess, of us in the world. And so basically when you're using WordPress, you start with one of these themes. You can also create your own themes, which I've done before, and I know many people getting started in the WordPress scene get trained to do. And even though that's a much more complicated process, but today we're just going to go into some of the best default ones to just jump you right into the website process. And so that's basically how you find all the free themes. Like all these ones on the WordPress theme directory are basic. A lot of these will have paid upgrades where you can unlock more things, but if you don't even want to pay for that, you can actually normally go into the backend code and just edit more stuff yourself, and they're normally great places to start. But some of the themes I'm going to talk about today, starting with my favorite probably place to get themes that I use for a lot of basic websites, for if people need landing pages and stuff. I normally go and I would use Themeisle's themes. This is a premium theme, but they also have free versions to start, which are great. If I'm recommending the most basic free theme to a client, I would just say quick, get Zerif Lite. Zerif is a great basic free theme for anyone starting out with WordPress. You can do pretty much build a quick website, very customizable with zero coding experience. If you're trying to get a premium theme from them, their #1 premium theme is Hestia Pro. I actually use that on many clients' websites. It's just very easy to work with and does exactly what most clients are looking for in the professional scene. But and the difference, a lot of people say, well, Kurt, why don't you just build your own theme or website for clients? Why do you use these these pre-built themes? Why aren't you just doing all the back work yourself? Well, I could do that, but then I end up charging people more because that's more work, and that just comes with a lot of extra time that no one wants. By reducing the time I have to work, that reduces the price for other people. And you still do all the back end, like you still have to add in stuff and do a lot of actual like website design, at least the front end stuff with all this. But this makes it much easier if you don't feel like recoding a whole website or just building a whole website from scratch every time. It gives you at least that starting block for what to go for. But yeah, these are some of my #1 recommended for like your staple basic websites. If you're paying for a pretty basic host, I would go to Themile. Their pricing is also pretty good. If you start with their free versions, they're pretty good. That's pretty much all you need if you're really just trying to throw up a website really quick. But it's $89 a year, and you get basically three licenses per type of website. So just imagine you get 3 websites for 89 bucks a year for these themes that keep updating them, keeping them modern and ready to go. That's who I would recommend if you're really trying to find a basic quick theme to use. Use one of Themile's light themes, and then eventually pay to upgrade to the Pro. But then after that, you might be trying to do some other stuff. So a big one, not many people know about Themile, but the big daddy of themes to buy is called Themeforest. So Themeforest is where you go to find an infinite number of themes for WordPress. But if you go to popular items here, you can just kind of browse around too. I'm going to go over some of my favorite, but you can just kind of sort by a lot of different things, different categories, refine, see what you're looking for. You kind of build it all up for everyone, but there's a lot of junk on this site too. I don't honestly buy from the Envato Market / Themeforest anymore. But one I would recommend, oops, sorry, it's called Chroma. And this is, I've used it with band websites before. It is an amazing, one of the harder things to do is integrate a lot of music and video into a website in a seamless fashion that'll this makes it a lot simpler. I think Chroma, if you're trying to implement a band website, this is one of my favorite themes I've ever seen or worked with. It's just great. You can pretty much, they come with a bunch of different versions of it too, just to show how you can design it inside a theme. So themes are pretty flexible. But this is a paid premium theme, 65 bucks, but that's not bad if you're building, your own website for your band. Another website, so yeah, that's just Themeforest or the Envato Market. A lot of people just only really go here for their themes, but I'd recommend there's a lot of better small players out there like Hamel, and where I'd go probably next. But before I leave here, another one I like to recommend for if you're trying to build a more agile blog would be, it's called Newspaper, and it's like a classic in the WordPress theme world. But yeah, it is always being updated, and it is always just a classic. It's your classic news site, but it works really well. I've edited around in it before. They're always updating it. There's tons you can do without even coding inside it, just to edit around and play around in. I would totally look into this if you're trying to build a news website, or even like just a blog. They can do you can do a lot of work in this. But yeah, Newspaper is, and it's pretty quick too. I'd say they do a lot of updating to keep with the times. So they may add a lot of features that other themes could slow down your website. Let's say newspaper pretty much tries to keep everything as agile as possible. Um, and then where I want to go, probably one other one is StudioPress, and that is just kind of well known in a lot of like people who are trying to build quick websites. They have a lot of themes, but their number one thing probably is like I think it's Genesis, yeah, the Genesis framework. Really basic, kind of almost. Uh, Definitely not my type, but it's your pretty much basic theme. Though you can even see it relates to WordPress's default themes. It just follows the blog format and the page setup. But it's very lightweight and runs really fast. Honestly, if you're trying to build a really lightweight site really quickly, Genesis Framework is the way to go. And the thing with their with StudioPress is um, you can buy a license for them to use like unlimited themes. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, you can get all the themes too. So if you're building like a lot of websites, yeah, it's $500 to get all their themes one time. Never have to worry about paying for themes again. But once again, you can do. That's still kind of pricey depending on what your price point is. But if you're trying to build out, if you're like a WordPress person building websites through WordPress and you have a lot of clients and you need a lot of theme license, this is one of the great ways to go, especially if you're just building landing pages. I'd say StudioPress is really the way to go. If you're trying to pump out a lot of landing pages for cash, that would be how I'd recommend to do it, because you could just have unlimited licenses for those themes and create quick, great-looking, lightweight landing pages that deliver exactly what you're trying to sell every time. But getting into there then, so those are just kind of where you get your themes from. And if we go a little more into the nitty-gritty here, I'll show you some of the more technical aspects, I guess, in the back end of themes, like how you want to optimize some of these themes, and just showing you what. So if you go here, we're in the WordPress backend in the admin area. So if you go to Appearance, then you go to Themes, you can see what theme I have chosen on this website, which is Hestia Pro by Themeisle. Pretty great. But if you wanted to add new themes, it's just up here in the Add New, and you can even upload downloaded themes, which you would do right here in this Upload button. I'm not looking to change the theme, but you can install free themes right here. So if you look up, so a great free theme once again is Zerif Lite. I would really recommend that as a great free theme for starters, and eventually you can upgrade to the Pro version. But if you're going to pay for Pro pricing, I would even switch over to Hestia by Themeisle. But you can browse around in the free marketplace for just about ever. But you got to understand the free themes, there's a lot of restrictions on what they built, but just so you know, if you're good with coding, you can go in the back end and edit that stuff away anyways, because it's all built on the WordPress engine, and there's not much they can do because WordPress is free for everyone to use. But beyond that, if anyone has any questions, just shoot them in the chat bar too. I guess we can go into some more. So a lot of themes, it'll tell you, like, you can click over here about Hestia Pro on the sidebar, and they'll tell you useful plugins and stuff like that that go with your theme. A lot of times themes will be built around or built with plugins that are like built specifically for your theme. Now, see, this is I don't even have these installed and activated, these themes, because I think once you get more experience with it, you can find better plugins that might work even better with that theme than the ones they recommend. So, but to start with, there are really good, they tell you the ones that basically work with their theme, because once you find in WordPress, if you're using a lot of plugins, they can sometimes get angry with different themes and break them potentially. So going with a theme's recommended plugins is often advised because you know they've been tested if you're going with a good provider, and they will work functionally and correctly as they're supposed to. But outside of that, once you get a little better at WordPress or fooling around with it, you can edit the back-end code that fixes anything that breaks through a plugin, which is kind of fun. But I would recommend for beginners especially just use the plugins they recommend more so than going find out, like if you need a slider, use Nivea for this one because it's the recommended one that the theme was built around. But that's about it for themes. If anyone has any questions. I guess one last thing I guess we can go into is if you ever want to build your own theme, this is a great how-to guide too. It's really more so growing your own knowledge around the WordPress platform than a necessity. If you are doing this purely as a financial reason or need to create a website for your business, use one of the themes we just talked about. But if not, go to the WordPress Codex. They start talking about theme development. And I found there's some, when I started learning more about WordPress, there's a ton of great YouTube tutorials and stuff like that that'll teach you the backbones of theme making, how to like program those all from scratch, and it's just a good experience to get to know what the themes do and the different parts of them and stuff like that. So you can actually go in and edit some of these themes, because even if you get to the high end of using, if you're like a better programmer, I guess, I'll admit I'm not the world's best, but you can actually go in to download the site files, which are located on your server host, which would be like your GoDaddy, your HostGator, or whatever you choose to host with. And you can go into the files there and actually download and edit those files yourself to make changes if you needed something additional that the theme doesn't offer. Just good to know that. But that's a little more high-end than the basics that we were talking about today. And that's why you call up specialists like me or other people around that web to get more of that kind of stuff done. But with it, there's no more questions. That's about it for today. Once again, I'll test that sound quality later to see how that all was. But thanks for bearing with me. All right. Well, thank you. If you guys like this, please like and subscribe. You can find me at kurthamel.com. And next week, I'll be going more into how to use Google Analytics to track data and users on your website. And beyond that, I will put all the links and stuff in a doobly-doo, and there'll be a blog post posted with this content tomorrow. All right. Thank you. And hope everyone has a good rest of their day. All right. Bye.